what's happening now?
We're masking off the 65 Chevelle in preparation to spray Standox Sprayable Polyester.
Okay, so it looks like this thing's been mudded already.
It has been mudded from end to end, top to bottom, and the gaps have been designed, and now we're ready for what they call sprayable polyester to fill in like sand scratch. I don't know if you can see it. There's very faint sand scratch marks, and this is the final step before primer. We're going to spray this poly on it, and then you kind of sand that down really, really fine, and then you spray primer.
Standox polyester is a chemical that we found that fills every little pinhole you can find and not find. It makes a barrier. It gives a lot more mil thickness than primer. It's basically a sprayable Bondo. So what I'm going to do is it's going to get one more coat of body filler, but there will not be any spreader marks, nothing. However you put it on with the gun, it's going to look like rough plaster when I get done with it, but it sands like chalk, and you can tape your body lines, you can make them razor blade edges, you can fill little nicks, stuff that would just drive you nuts wiping with a spreader.
This is what he calls body man in the can.
Yes. Yeah, if you cannot straighten it after this, you had no business working on a car.
Okay, so any tricks to masking today?
We are doing what they call back taping, which means you take the sticky side of the tape is actually facing me, and I'm going to then take paper and stick it to this. So one side of the tape is stuck to the car, like this, and the other side is still sticky. The bottom side of the tape is still sticky that I can take the paper and put it to this side. So we're back taping. I'm taping the back of the rocker panel so that I can take some 3M plastic sheeting. We're going to put it underneath the whole bottom of the car because we've already finished painting the frame and all the suspension is in. And we don't want any of that to get any overspray on it. So we're going to actually roll the car over the plastic, pull the plastic up, and then stick it to this tape so the whole bottom of the car is bagged. We're also masking off the engine bay area, the windows, the trunk, and the windshield and back glass areas. The only things I can suggest is to keep your paper really tight and to press your tape on firmly all the whole length of the tape. You don't want any openings or gaps like that where the stuff will float everywhere you don't want it to go. So really press firmly on the tape and keep your paper tight because poly especially is very heavy and it'll pull a lot on your tape. So if your paper is tight already, it won't allow the paper to sag and pull your tape off of the area you masked on. We left the doors on and the hood hinges on for alignment because after the poly is sprayed on, you start block sanding in preparation for primer. And we've already figured out our gaps for the hood and the doors, so we're not going to disturb any of those hinges. So we're going to leave the hood hinges on and the doors on for the spraying of the poly. Now when we spray paint, before we spray paint and all that, we do our jams, the doors and the hood and everything will have to come back off for proper alignment again.
And try and keep the tape off the animals. Right?
There shouldn't be any animals in the shop.
Yeah, but what's this?
How am I supposed to say no to this? How do I say no to this? Can you say no to this?
No.
The Standox sprayable polyester comes out of the gun pretty heavy, and the first coat seems to soak into the body filler on the car. John applied 3 heavy coats of the polyester to the entire car and then added additional thickness to the body line areas where he knew there would be a lot of sanding to define the lines and make them stand out. Once applied, the Standox polyester leaves a significant texture on the car, which might appear to be a step backwards in the straightening process. However, most of what you see here will all be block sanded off, leaving a solid white layer of perfectly smooth substrate ready for the final application of primer before paint. When properly sanded, the polyester leaves no traces of pinholes or filler spreader marks, and it sands smoothly with minimal effort. but you'll get to see that whole block sanding process in the next chapter of our 65 Chevelle.